Hey guys! Whoa, what the fuck was that? Buster here, and welcome to the extremely late 1,000 subscriber special. Realistically, this is just another video I wanted to make on the channel, but I need to congratulate you guys. Like I mentioned in a previous video, 2025 is going to be our year, and that was a very important milestone I have to thank you guys for. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some less known or obscure games. In this one, I'll be talking about ones made by Morat, but in future parts I'll have a lot more interesting ones by other developers I want to mention. So with that all out of the way, let's get right into it, shall we? So Original Revamp was a game made by Morat back in 2016 and was his own original weird version of FNAF 2. Let me explain. Original Revamp has two versions, each of which I will talk about right now. The first version is heavily inspired by FNAF 3, and this one was never finished beyond a demo on Scratch of all places and has basically nothing to it. And because I don't want this segment to be 30 seconds long, we're just going to base the original version on the Legacy Edition recode by Lane, who actually caught me playing their old games on stream once, funny enough. The mechanics of this game are you shut off the cameras, yeah, yippee, yahoo, and turn off the lights when specific suits enter the room. The environments are awful in every sense of the word, since they are just badly inspired FNAF 3 maps with Treasure Island assets in them, and the characters look even worse. But hey, this is at least a fully content-complete experience with just 7 nights, an extras menu, and lore, because, yes, the lore for the original version just continues on from Morat's other old fan games where Jake is the narrator of all these vlogs and helps you. And on night 5 he admits to the fact that he was the one who killed all the suits on the Treasure Island, which is why they're free here and are attacking Greg, who is the player. Somehow. Then eventually God steps on night 6 and says just to survive one more night to prove that they aren't like the others, and Greg would be free. Granted, given how it's worded, I have to question if it was just a regular occurrence for people to visit Treasure Island and like throw a knife into a suit, like what? I don't think this was an attraction on the Disneyland map last time I checked. That is all there is for the Legacy Edition. It's not really good in the slightest. I mean, I guess the nights are short, but that's about all this game has. So, now it's time we move on to the second version made by Morat, shall we? So the second version of Original Revamp was released later in 2016, and was a lot more proper and unique than whatever the hell was going on in the other version. I mean, it's obviously still a clear inspirational rip from FNAF 3, but at least it's distinguishable. The environments look much better and the character models, well, I mean all of them except Jake look mediocre. I think Jake for the most part looks neat. Until you remove his head, then he doesn't look too good. The mechanics in this version are kind of like a mix between Flip These 2 and FNAF 2. Basically, you have lights in the dread meter from Flip These 2, and you have to charge this generator and not let it run out of power like the music box in FNAF 2. If you run out of power, Spirit Piano will attack you, and the rest just use the light mechanic. Granted, the light mechanic is just kind of annoying with how bad the AI is. I would have preferred another mechanic to balance things out. In fact, in the unused context section, it says that there were more characters planned, but they were all just getting used to Dread mechanic. The only exception is Spirit Mini, which you just have to flip the camera up when she enters the office. Lame. But hey, at least there's an extras menu in the 6th night, so that's at least kind of interesting. Also, for a bit of a fun fact, if you type in 1982 in the camera menu, a picture of the end of Disney office appears. That is all there is for Original Revamp. It's just an average mediocre 2016 FNAF game, nothing special, and nobody has even bothered to reboot this game, which surprises me, but that alone shows how forgotten this game is. So with all that out of the way, let's move on to the next game. Our next one on this list is called Abandoned Discovery Island Jeff the Killer. Let me explain. So initially Anwar was planning a Jeff the Killer Easter egg night in FNAF 2.0 to quote-unquote shed more light on the creepypasta, whatever that means. And apparently in that same night Smile Dog and Eyeless Jack were also going to be involved. The way you had access to this night was to beat Night 1 without using cameras, and apparently when Dusko was working on Abandoned Discovery Island, Jeff the Killer was going to be implemented in the same way, though as far as I can tell in the original 2016 version he wasn't. But granted, in the current version on the page he is, though he always seems to appear no matter what I do. Well, it seems like Morat made the small game mode into its own standalone game with a few other bonus things. So let's check it out. So the base game mode consists of a little cutscene where the power shuts off and we're stuck in the dark. We have to use a flashlight on both sides of the office to see Jeff, and depending on what side he appears, you have to hide under the desk. That's it. Granted, it also has bugs, and there is also the strand meter so you don't hide under the desk for too long, but the recharge is super slow that it basically means nothing. There's also another mode called Free Roam, where you just choose your hunter, and then it's a normal pirate cavernous minigame, where you just have to hide from the other enemy in a normal Fnati map. It's cool, but there's just nothing to it. Like, I'm out of things to say. I mean, I guess you get a gold star when you beat the main mode. Yeah, let's move on. The last game on this list is called Five Nights at Mickey's Pizza Club, and yes, it is as cliché as it sounds. This was seemingly Marat's first ever Fnati project, which dates all the way back to November 2015. My god, that was almost a decade ago. The original is on Scratch for anyone to play 9 years later, so that's neat. But it also sorta isn't, because this version has almost nothing to offer. All of the renders were done in Gmod of all places, and the only mechanic just consists of shutting off the power. Yikes. Also, this version has normal FNAF characters in the mix, because why not? I mean, I guess a lot of people are already doing this, but that's because we were all kids and stupid back then. The final version is, well, it's not very good either. The menu is kind of charming though, I'll give it that, and it even has Bioshock Infinite music, because Mara is a big fan of Bioshock. It's cool. Doesn't fit at all, but cool. Better than just throwing a whole Undertale section in your game. This version only has one night, one character, and I just want to say these characters look actually horrifying. Not for the reasons they should look terrifying though. They look more often than anything like bootlegs. The environments are also just bad FNAF 1 inspired environments, which make no contents in relation to Disney animatronics. Like with these Disney animatronics, it could have made like, I don't know, a proper Disney restaurant at Disney World. The only mechanics are you close the room and have to use the steam to prevent the room from getting too hot. That's literally all there is. There is this vent, but it does nothing. Probably was going to be used for another character, but yeah, this game was bad. So bad that it was the only game of Mallrats to have the files be deleted outright. So this game was almost lost media. It was just barely found, including the trailer. Granted, the state it's in isn't pretty, but neither was your mental health when you found my channel, so that's not much of a point, is it? That is all there is for Five Nights at Mickey's Pizza Club, so with all that out of the way, let's move on to the conclusion. So, thank you guys for watching this episode on Weird Forgotten Treasure Island games made by Mallrats. I have more series planned on this channel, and you can expect a video in the future about a disturbing official Mickey Mouse cartoon. Hopefully you will enjoy that, so look out for it in the future. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you do the average YouTubing things like liking, commenting, and subscribing. It helps out the channel a bunch, helps you in the algorithm, you know, all that stuff. And also consider becoming a member. I put early access exclusive things up there. So if that interests you, go check that out. And I will see you guys next time.